Thanks for joining us for another edition of Weekend Winners, proudly brought to you by One Equine for the equine athlete. And we're back at Albion Park on Saturday night, but it's not just any Saturday night, it's a feature Saturday night because we've got the $50,000 APG Gold Bullion Finals coming through. For the 3-year-olds, one for the fillies and one for the colts and geldings. We saw the heats last Friday night, so we're set for a very exciting night of racing. 10 races in total, and we get underway at 5:44. In this edition of Weekend Winners, a brand new face comes to the screen because young Layne Dwyer, he's got his first night of metro driving this weekend, and he's been kind enough to join us. Layne, of course, is the son of Graham and Marty Dwyer. They're a leading stable. Layne's been on the circuit for a little while now, but this is the first time under the bright lights on a Saturday night. So he's going to jump in the hot seat. Brendan Barnes will also join us, and we'll get their thoughts ahead of their drives on the weekend. So that's all in front of us on Weekend Winners. Layne Dwyer jumps into the hot seat to go through his book of drives on Saturday night. Special moment for Layne coming up this weekend because this is his first night of metro driving. And he's with us now. Layne, appreciate the time.
Thanks, Chris.
You've been building for this moment for some time, so what are the expectations? What are the nerves like ahead of the weekend?
There's definitely been a timer on my phone, that's for sure. But no, I'm pretty excited, and I think I've got a couple of good enough chances. So hopefully, get a winner on my first night. That'd be good.
Yeah, too right. And you've got a good chance here in this first race, race 1, number 1. Hey there, Joe. He's been really good for the stable. His last couple of runs, although beaten, far from disappointing. Barrier 1's a big plus here. How do you rate this guy's chances?
Yeah, I find his chances really good. He's just had a bit of a virus, but he's come back and he's feeling really good. And his track work, he worked awesome this morning. So, yeah, hopefully he can hold up and be hard to beat.
All right. How do you sort of analyse that gate speed to your outside, and how do you expect him to leave the inside position there, barrier 1?
Yeah, there is a little bit there, but I believe he can hold. He does have good speed. We haven't really used him off the gate too much, but yeah, hopefully he leads, and yeah, should be thereabouts.
All right. If he is in front with R11 Art, who was super sharp last week, on your back, could he loom as your biggest threat there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we just got to hopefully just stack them up as much as we can and leave our sprint for the last bit and out-sprint R11 Art. That'd be an ideal world, but yeah, he's definitely probably one of the bigger threats there.
All right. Just overall, though, for Hey There, Joe, has he been a bit of a surprise packet for your dad since joining the stable? Because, like I said, he hasn't run any bad races, so has he been a surprise packet since joining the camp?
No, not necessarily. He's going really well down in Tamworth when Dean Chappell had him, and he always thought very highly of the horse, so he sort of had big expectations coming up here, I believe, and he's definitely living up to them, and we're having a bit of fun with him. All
right, well, hopefully he goes well. That's your first metro drive there, Saturday night, race 1, number 1. You then go around in race 3. It's race 3, number 3, Love Bite. You know this guy really well. Are you happy with the way he's performing?
Yeah, he's definitely improved. It's probably not a bad draw for him. We'll just slide forward. Hopefully get the top, and he can run a good mile rate. So just keep him rolling along, and he should be thereabouts as well.
All right, Collector Dime, he comes into this race boasting super form. He's aiming for 5 straight. You've seen plenty of him, Collector Dime. Does he loom as the hardest to beat here?
Yeah, definitely. But the thing in our favour is we're drawn inside him. That's one plus, and we'll be making the most of it. But yeah, he's definitely the one to beat in that race for sure.
All right. Those two horses on your inside, Rockin' Penny, Carter Grant, both are going well. Both probably looking for cover at 2,138 metres. So if you can lead here with Love Bite, you're confident that he can run a really bold race?
Yeah, for sure. 21's definitely not a bad trip for him. Like, he's gone some good time around there before. And yeah, I think they'd both be looking for cover, the 1 and 2. So yeah, hopefully we can just cross, keep him rolling along a bit, make the favourite work a bit, and he should be thereabouts.
All right, well, a good chance there with the Love Bite. So you've had a couple of good draws there for your first two Metro drives. Now you get a taste of it. Race 4, number 12, Sir Brigadoon, the outside of the second row. Were you disappointed when you saw that draw for this horse? Because he's another one that's going probably better than what his form reads.
Yeah, I was a little bit, but like if he's probably going to win it last start. He checked the wheel, so and he broke. But if all he needs is a bit of luck, and if he gets it, he should run top 3.
Okay. So overall, those efforts at Marburg during that Gold Strike series, you were more than happy with, given the handicap he was facing?
Yeah, like he probably hasn't shown what he is capable of. Like the first few starts we gave him, he was really sharp, and but if he brings that to Saturday night, he can really throw down a challenge.
Yeah, it's a good point you raise. When he first arrived here, he really hit the ground running. He was super impressive. So you think he's just tapered a little bit? Do you make any changes going into Saturday night?
No, not necessarily. Like he's another one that's had a bit of a virus, and he's just starting to get over it, I think. So yeah, like his run, he felt really good last week. But yeah, hopefully he just brings to the track what he does have and goes the best he can, and he should be there.
All right. Race 5, this race for the mares. This is the Band 5 pace. Miss Strepo, she's another one that's going really well. 2 off the second row. No doubt you're hoping for a heap of early speed here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, she's been going well. Probably would have preferred her to be drawn 2 or 1 or something, but it's not a bad draw for her. Yeah, we just hope for the best, and hopefully a lot of speed early and get over the top. That'd be good.
Yeah, super open race. It's hard to sort of pinpoint one mare above all others. So, you know, luck in running's going to play a part, and the tempo is going to be the big factor here. So if they go really hard to the half, Miss Strepo could be a bit of a threat late.
Yeah, exactly right. It's a very even race, and yeah, they're all as good as each other, and whoever has the most luck should win.
All right. Final race on Saturday night for you that you're driving in is a $50,000 feature, the APG Gold Bullion 3-year-old fillies final. Hell of a hand is your drive. Drawn 2 off the second row. The favourite here is Soap Opera, who's drawn the outside of the second row. So does that balance up things a little bit here for this final, given that she's got to overcome a really tough draw Soap Opera? Do you give yourself a chance?
Yeah, I do. Her run last week in the heat was awesome. She was looking for room, and the week before that at Redcliffe, she ran a good mile rate, and yeah, she hit the line strong. So definitely, I couldn't be any happy with the draw, and Soap Opera can do things wrong at the start, and let's just hope there's a bit of speed early and she can come out on top.
All right. The 2 runs back, as you said, from the break. The most noticeable thing about this filly, Hell of a Hand, she's obviously strengthened up and she's matured a little bit. Does she feel like she's a different filly compared to last campaign?
No, she still feels the same to drive. Like, she's a bit lazy. You got to be onto her the whole way, but we've always known she's had ability, but she just hasn't quite shown it until this prep. So, yeah, hopefully she gets better again, and yeah, she'll be there.
All right. You're drawn to follow out Miss Consequences, who's got early speed, so you're going to be in a fairly handy spot early here, which is a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hopefully there's a few that come out early, which I'm sure they will. But we'll be thereabouts. Should be 1 out, 2, 3 back at worst. So hopefully Soap Opera is a bit further back, and we can be in front of it. That's the only way we're going to beat it.
All right. Let me ask you this question. Have you dared yourself to dream here? What if you win a $50,000 race in your first night of Metro driving?
Yeah. Since she qualified, I have been thinking about it a bit, but yeah, it'd be pretty unreal. Yeah.
I'm tipping you'd be happy to walk away with just one winner, no matter what race it is on Saturday night.
Yeah, bloody oath. But if I could finish it with a $50,000 race, that'd be pretty special.
All right. So which race are you most looking forward to, or is it just a case that you're happy to be there under the bright Saturday night lights at Albion Park?
Yeah, I'm happy to be there, but Probably, yeah, the first race. That's probably the drive I'm most looking forward to.
Awesome. Layne, really appreciate the time. This will be the first of many, and we'll wish you well on Saturday night.
Thanks, Chris.
Brendan Barnes is now joining us. He jumps in the hot seat to go through his book of drives on Saturday night, APG Gold Bullion Night, and he's with us now. Brendan, appreciate the time.
No worries, Chris.
So Serious, race 1, number 6. This is your first drive. This guy's in really good form. He's chasing the hat-trick of victories here on the weekend. Were you happy with what he delivered last week?
Yeah, we'll wrap with how we went. Obviously this week the draw's not really good, and there's plenty of speed inside us, so we'll probably have to drive him with one run, but you know, that's how I prefer him anyway.
Okay, I was going to ask about that. Doesn't seem to be a set style with So Serious. He can lead, he can do a little bit of work, and he can chase down a target. So if you go back, he's not out of it.
No, he's not. I think his main asset is his speed, and when we have sort of been able to drive him, he's won them 2 races sitting in the death seat, but both of them they've sort of run a really steady second quarter, and he's sort of been driven as a sit sprinter from outside him. So I think definitely, driven for speed is his main strength, but we'll have to hope for that on the weekend.
All right, it's a mile again on Saturday night. Is that his pet distance, a mile?
Oh, yeah, I'd say so. It probably just helps that, you know, that when he does get back in the mile races, they're not as big a field, so he's got a couple less to get round. So hopefully it's a genuine tempo and they're not getting home too quick, and he'll show his speed.
All right, looking at those drawn to your inside, do you think they're going to generate good tempo?
You'd think so. You know, there's a couple there that like to get forward, and there's a couple nice in the state horses coming up as well. All
right, just with So Serious moving forward, so the more he wins, the quicker he rises in grade. But could that work to his advantage? Because he's a good horse following tempo, it's obviously going to get harder. So you can drive him, sit sprint, and just put him away and let him rattle home?
Yeah, definitely. Even a lot of the times that we have driven him sit sprint, you know, he's had shock and trips, and they've gone slow, and he's been last in a field where there's been no 3 wide line, and you know, he's never really had a good trip when driven cold. He hasn't had a chance to, you know, good speed early, track up 3 wide, get a good shot at him. He's always had a pretty ordinary trip and had to go on his own at the 4 or the 600, which, I think the quieter he can be, the longer he can be saved up, will be the better.
Okay, and just finally with that first race, did you have the choice between So Serious and Amami?
I didn't know. Jem's favourite horse is Amami. She was forced to get off him last week because she owned the other bloke. So, yeah, definitely no choice.
Okay, race 2 on Saturday night. Big Shadow. This guy continues to go extra well. He was excellent again last week running second.
He was super, yeah. I think from the draw we'll probably push forward and get him handy to the action, and he'll run another good race, that's for sure.
Okay. This is a mixed class. There's quite a few that are dropping back. There's a few that are rising in grade. Sort of, how does he fit into this puzzle here, Big Shadow, in your opinion?
Oh, he'd have to be one of the better, you know, sort of 4 or 5 in it. I think, I think he's sort of good enough to think that I think he can probably sit outside him and be, you know, really good top 3 hope.
Okay, do you think LL Cool J will lead from the inside?
They'll be doing their best, that's for sure.
Okay, so could it turn into a leader behind leader scenario here? LL Cool J, Northview Hustler, and then you're left parked out?
Yeah, quite possibly, and you know, we'd be happy to be parked out. He's run some really good races there, even over 2100 when he sat outside Bangkok DJ when we went around mid-race. He was super that night, so we know he can do the work.
Okay, has it just been a maturity thing with Big Shadow? Like this campaign, he hasn't gone a bad race, so has it just been that little bit of maturity that's, you know, mentally made him a little bit stronger?
Yeah, I think he's had his fair share of hiccups, and obviously he had that bleed there late last year, and I think the 3 months off was probably a blessing in disguise. He was able to come back a better and stronger horse, and he had that time to sort of, as you said, mature a bit.
Okay, race number 3. This is the qualifying pace. Beef City Blaze is your drive. He's in really good form. How does it sort of play out here from 4? Is that sticky?
Very sticky. It's quite a good quality, one of probably the better ones we've seen for a little while. But as you said, he's racing really good. But in that sort of field, he's an opportunist. So we're just going to need to tuck him away and you know, hope they do something silly and go crazy and he can earn some money. Okay,
well, that's Beef City Blaze there in race number 3. What about race 4, Promising? If we get the real Promising, he's good enough to take this race. This looks a really suitable assignment.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's been some gear changes on him this week. He'll be fired up early, and if he can lead, he'll take some running down. Okay, the horse drawn to your inside does have good speed in his own right. May win Troubadour. Do you think there will be a battle for the lead here? Oh, put it this way, I'm going to be pretty happy to roll the sleeves up and have a really good look and just sort of see if we can force our way to the front.
Okay, he's a big horse promising, so if he does find the lead, 2,138 metres, can he run it out strongly?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty confident that if he can lead, he can run a good race.
Okay, that's a good push there for promising. What about race 5? Captain of Speed. She lands gate 1. Probably, if anything, dropping back in grade here. This is the band 5. Can she run a good race from the inside?
Yeah, I think so. She's probably got to go a little bit better. She sort of has her limits. You know, there's not an obvious one there that you'd probably take a sit on. So whether or not we just see how they come out, and we might even be happy to hold this week and sort of make them catch us.
She's testing the friendship with you, isn't she?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So looking at this field, I think you're right. There's no standout, but there's a number of good quality performers here. So if you want to lead, you will. But if there is a fair bit of pressure, you're not against taking a sit.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we'll just see how it pans out. I think she's won 3 races when leading up here. All her races that she's won, she's led. But last start we opted for 2 starts ago. Sorry, we opted for a trail and Orchid Stride, who obviously she's a nice mare and sort of is levels above anything in this field. But there's nothing like that to follow, so we'll just sort of see what's happening early.
All right, race number 6, APG Gold Bullion 3-year-old fillies final. Mary Jewel sprung a little bit of a surprise last week, the way she was rocketing down the line to pick off her rivals. Why can't she win this final on Saturday night?
There's no real reason she can't. Obviously, Soap Opera was a huge run in her heat. We've got the draw advantage, but I'd love to lead, but also in saying that, I'm a little bit worried. You know, in a couple trials early when she was in front, she pulled way too hard, and the last couple starts with a sit, she's been quite settled and had a bit left. So yeah, I'd love to lead, but I'm hoping she just doesn't bring herself undone if she wants to get keen again.
So where does that leave you then?
Hoping.
It's a tough drive by the sound of it for you here, because you've got big decisions to make. She was on that 24-hour backup last week. Both runs were really good. Now you've got the draw. The main danger's drawn off the second row. You want to try and hold that early advantage, right?
Absolutely. Like if we're in front and it's drawn 11, it's going to be spotting us a fairly big start at some point. You know, but we've just got to hope that, you know, these last couple starts have done her good, where she's been driven quite quietly and been saved up, and she wants to settle, and that way we'll be able to use the draw to our advantage, and we can sort of use the speed when we have to try and pinch it as much as we can.
All right, I've got to ask this question. If you do get the lead here, are you confident that she will settle and run out a good mile?
I'm not 100% confident. My fingers are crossed. I'm hoping so. She hasn't showed signs of pulling at track work her last couple starts and everything like that, but I have no doubt if she settles, she can run probably a 53 mile, no doubt.
Okay. Race 7, the APG Gold Bullion Colts and Geldings final. Quick Change. He's the reigning Q-Bred 2-year-old of the year, or reigning Queensland 2-year-old of the year. He was first up. As we all know, it's been a little bit interrupted, this preparation, bit stop-start. He was really good last week. I like the final 100 metres, so what was your takeaway from the heat run?
Yeah, I was really happy. I think the draw's okay. We can get forward and get a spot from there, and I think we just got to hope he's forward enough.
Okay, so from barrier 3, how do you sort of see this unfolding? Where do you want to be?
I'd say, you know, Hot Rod Harry will probably want to hold early. 4 Feathers I drove in the heat last week. He come out and showed good speed, but needs a helmet, so we'll just look to get across him early, and then checking out the talent outside us. Hopefully he'll go forward, and if we could be one out, one back or something like that, it'd be terrific.
Okay, how much improvement do you think there will be from last week, the heat run, to the final on Saturday night?
Oh, boatloads, and I think even more after this final, I think.
Okay, so is he a winning chance?
I think, the fence races, Hot Rod Harry, Delro, where they're drawn, you know, they're probably the class runners in the race and they've got the good draws. But if something happens, you know, we saw Hot Rod Harry blow to pieces there a couple of starts ago when he was in front. So that, you know, that could happen again. And we know he's a classy horse and he's got high speed. It's sort of just a matter of if there's some genuine tempo and it's not sort of favouring them fence horses.
Surely there's got to be tempo.
Well, you'd think so. There's not too many races. Trent Dawson's in front. There's not, is there?
Yeah. So whatever he does on Saturday night will stick on his tail because there's better to come.
Absolutely. All
right. Well, that's Quick Change. And then you've got that final race, race 10, horse 3, classic mix-up. Small field here for the mares. This is the Open. What do you think?
Yeah, I think small field suits. You know, she's shown limitations her last couple starts, but we'll just drive her really quiet and just save her up for 200 metres.
Okay. So which drive are you most looking forward to there on Saturday night?
I think if Promising can bully his way to the front, he's probably the pick of them.
All right, Promising. That is race 4, number 2. Hey, Brendan, as always, really appreciate the time. Hopefully there's some big race success coming your way on the weekend, and we'll see you trackside.
Thank you, Chris. Cheers.
As always, a big thanks to our 2 drivers this week. Layne Dwyer, his first night of Saturday night Metro driving, and Brendan Barnes. Hopefully there's plenty of winners for both boys there on the weekend. Time now for a good thing or two. I think you've got to be really patient. Wait for the last race, race 10, number 2, Bonnie's Dance. Small field suit. She's got options here from gate 2. Maybe the leader is drawn to her inside, and Eloisa Dale, she might be able to pop straight in behind the speed. Either scenario, I think she's going to be in the right spot. She's going really well. She can take it, but you've got to be patient. It is the last race. So race 10, number 2, Bonnie's Dance, marking her as the best bet on the program. Remember, if you are gambling this weekend, please do so responsibly. We're set for a great night on Saturday night at Albion Park. APG Gold Bullion Finals for the 3-year-olds, the fillies, the colts and the geldings coming through as races 7 and 8. We look forward to that. We'll see you trackside at the Creek this Saturday night.